Casi Nelson. I'm an attorney for the Hamilton County Guardian Ad Litem program.
And I'm Addie Wood. I'm also an attorney for our program here in Hamilton County.
And we also usually have another person with us, and that's Shelley Haymaker, the director of our program.
Right, but she's stuck in court today, so we thought, since she couldn't be here in person, that we would bring her in spirit. So, Shelley will be with us.
She's going to join us for the show today.
Right.
And hopefully she'll be proud of what we do here.
Right, yes. We do call her the queen because she is amazing. She's an amazing advocate. She's taught us so much, and we are very lucky to have her as our mentor as well as directing our program.
She's a fabulous director.
She is. So we'll start off by thanking Jim Wofford and Noblesville Trophies, Logan Street Signs and Banners, and a shout out to their outdoor movie series at Forest Park that starts the first Friday in June. Check it out. I believe they run June, July, and the first Friday of August. So it sounds like a great time. You should check it out.
Absolutely. So we all just got back, our whole program, from Seattle. We went to the national conference for Guardian Ad Litems and CASA's court-appointed special advocate and Guardian Ad Litem, a gal. So you might hear us refer to them like that throughout the show. And we had a great time in Seattle. We got to spend some time touring the city, which I'd never been to before, so that was a lot of fun. A little bit of rain, but it didn't stop us from having a good time, and we got to sit in on some workshops and do some different things, so that was a lot of fun. One of the cool experiences that I got to do was I sat in on a workshop with some foster children that had been involved in the system in different states throughout the country, and they are now in college or recently graduated, and they shared their experience with the whole room about their time as a foster youth and what a guardian ad litem or a CASA meant to them and how it affected their lives. And now, some of them still maintain relationships with their gals and CASAs. Some of them really felt an impact, and some of them even made some recommendations on what they thought that we could do better. So we're really looking forward to bringing that information to, our training and making our program even better and, building on that.
So you've thrown out some terms, Casi, Guardian Ad Litem and CASA, court-appointed special advocate. So why don't we explain to them what that means? Because people ask all the time, what is a gal? What is a CASA? So What is a gal or CASA?
A gal or a CASA is, a gal, like I said, is a guardian ad litem, or a CASA is a court-appointed special advocate. These are essentially child advocates. They work in the court system, and they make recommendations, conduct investigations, and make recommendations to the court about what's in a child's best interest. These advocates are involved in child abuse and neglect cases throughout our county and really throughout the country, and even in juvenile delinquency cases. And in our county, we also have a program where guardian ad litems are involved in even divorce, paternity, guardianships, adoptions, you name it. If there's a person that needs a special advocate or a child that needs an advocate, typically our program is involved.
Absolutely. And a guardian ad litem and a CASA are the same thing. They used to mean different things. Guardian ad litem used to have to be an attorney, and a CASA was a lay person or just a volunteer from the community, but now they're used interchangeably. So for
at
those
least
of you
in our county.
Right. For those of you that are wondering, it's the same thing, gal/CASA. We just like gal because that sounds more fun.
Right.
I guess, right? I don't know. So that's what a gal/CASA is, and then I'll add to Casi, I also sat in on a different panel with foster children, and the one that really stuck out to me, she was 23 and had been in 42 different placements throughout her life, and she talked about her gal, and that's the one person in her life that she remembers that was stable, that was with her from the very beginning until they even communicate now. and she said she is where she is because of her gal. And that's oftentimes what we find, that these kids come into the system, and social worker, with DCS, they change, therapists change, foster placements change, but we try really hard to make sure that guardian ad litem and their advocate remains the same, because it a lot of times is the only consistent person that's in their life.
Right.
So we strive for that very much, and are so thankful for all of you volunteers that are out there now. We appreciate all that you do for our program and for our children here in Hamilton County.
Absolutely.
Which I think is a perfect time to talk about some statistics.
Yeah, so last year, for 2016, we actually advocated and served for 258 children here in Hamilton County in Indiana. We made a huge difference. We thank our volunteers so much for all their hard effort and time spent in all these cases, and they truly made a difference for the kids in our county. And even today, right now, we are serving, as of this second, 139 children right now in Hamilton County. So our volunteers are still making a difference. However, we advocate for all these kids, but there's still a need for volunteers to do this in our community. We still have children that need advocates, that need someone to make recommendations on their behalf. And right now we have 15 cases that need you or someone else from the community that to become an advocate for them. And that encompasses 28 children in our county that are still without advocates right now that need your help. So if you are interested in becoming a volunteer for our program, we do have an upcoming training. The dates should be listed on your screen below: May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, the 8th, 9th, and 10th, and the 15th, 16th, and 17th. And each night, those are from 5:30 to 9.
And it's
3 days a week.
encompassing. It's not pick one night.
Right.
We need you here for all of them. And yes,
we're
it's
required,
intense.
mandated by, I believe, the state or national to have at least 30-something hours of training for our volunteers. So you have to come to every night. It is a commitment, but it's a great way to make a difference in the community and actually have a positive impact on a child.
Absolutely. And people see that and think, wow, that's a lot. And it is a lot. But being a gal/CASA is a commitment. And,
right.
This isn't something that we take lightly. And it's something that if you truly want to make an impact in the life of a child, this is a perfect way, especially if you don't want them in your home. Because lots of people want to help a child, but don't want them in their home necessarily. So this is a perfect way that you can help and be involved, because our judge, particularly here in Hamilton County, and I'll speak for him just because, that's who we see, but he listens to the recommendations of the guardian ad litem and takes those into consideration and weighs them very heavily. So he relies on your opinion and our opinions.
Right. They always use the phrase that you're the eyes and the ears of the court, right? As a guardian ad litem, you will be conducting an investigation. You'll be talking to parties involved in a child abuse and neglect case for these children. You might be meeting parents. You might be talking to foster parents, to doctors, therapists, service providers, reading evaluations. You might be observing some type of supervised visitation. All of these things will go into your report and will have an effect on what your recommendation might be to what that is in that child's best interests.
Right. So we're talking about the gals and who they are. So we get questions, well, what if I have a full-time job? Can I do that? And yes, absolutely. We have a number of people who have full-time jobs who take on a case. You take on a case when you're ready. After you do the training, right. You don't have to take on more if you don't want to. You take one at a time. Mm-hmm. And yes, it's very doable if you have a job and small children, and we
have people that are moms that work full time, that are retired, that are students. You name it, someone's been a volunteer in our program. The program really fits for anyone, and you can put in the time into it that you kind of want to put into it. So
absolutely. And one area that we will be focusing on, and we talked about in our conference, is the need for male guardian ad litems.
Yes.
So often it's women, and we love all of our women and appreciate everything that you do, but oftentimes we could really use a male figure to put on the case, whether it's for a juvenile delinquent or a case that these boys have never had, the children have never had a positive male role model in their life, and one who's been around. So we're really going to try to focus on reaching out and finding some new male volunteers that can service some of our cases, especially that have boys that could really use that positive male role model.
So not only all lifestyles, but all genders that we have as volunteers as well. And we are trying to recruit more of those, as it'll make an even bigger impact in our community. And if you are a current volunteer and you're watching this, we would love to have you invite your friends to our training and become a volunteer with us. We really appreciate you guys, and we really hope that you'll encourage your friends to come and do what you do. Tell them a little bit about it and encourage them to make a difference in their community as well.
Absolutely. And so in part of the training, it's not just all sitting in class and boring,
not just reading the book. To
Casi and me and Shelley. We'll bring Shelley back into this here.
Hi, Shelley.
Hi, Shelley. But we also take some field trips.
Yes, we
go to the Juvenile Detention Center, and there we have one of the juvenile prosecutors and juvenile probation officers who are there, and will speak. We go to the courthouse, and Magistrate Reitz, who is the judge or the magistrate who hears our cases, he speaks as well, and you get kind of a tour of you see the courtrooms, and he explains what he's looking for. And then DCS, so the Department of Child Services, they come at night and go over their materials and what their role is and how we can help them. So it's not just 30 hours of listening to us talk, as great as that might be.
So fun.
We do have other people, so fear not that you only get to hear us, because you don't.
And we teach a lot, throughout the training. There's all different kinds of nights. We might talk about what a typical case looks like from beginning to end. We might talk about how to write a report, what the Department of Child Services does and their role. How to, engage with children and parents and speak to them, how to testify in court, how to, do a variety of different things, even about, your personal biases, everything we kind of go through in this training to make you a better advocate and, help you learn and navigate the system. We know a lot of you haven't done this before, or maybe have never been into a courtroom before. So don't let that deter you from becoming a volunteer in this program, because we will teach you everything that you need to know.
Absolutely. And we didn't talk about what types of cases that are volunteers, the ones that we represent. So what Casi and my role is we are your attorney. So you're not going into court alone. You have someone who represents you, who we get your reports, we look at them, we file them, we speak in court. We're there protecting you, in essence, should you be called to the witness stand or anything. So you're not going into this, scary courtroom by yourself. So you have us, and the cases that we work on are CHINs, which is
Child in Need of Services. So those are the child abuse and neglect cases throughout our county. And we will only represent Hamilton County. We can only speak to our county. There are other programs in different counties, but we will only represent Hamilton County.
Right. So in order for a guardian ad litem to be appointed, the child has to become involved in the court system.
Right.
Where DCS, Department of Child Services, removes the child or children from their environment. Sometimes they don't remove them. Sometimes they're in home. But they get involved and file a court case. And then each child is appointed a guardian ad litem. And that's been since 2005 when a statute was passed, because
automatically mandated
right.
in every case a guardian ad litem is appointed.
Right. So, it goes back to the 15 cases that currently need a volunteer. Casi and I have to monitor them, but they truly need someone who is designated to them specifically.
Right.
So they can get the services and make sure that their voice is being heard to the best of our ability. So those are the types of cases. We don't ask our volunteers to get involved in the divorce cases or adoption cases or any of those. That's what Shelley actually, that's one of her many roles that she has here in the program. But she is the attorney for the guardian ad litems on that side. Which are actual attorneys.
Right. Those sides are attorney advocates in the community as well. But like we were saying, any person from the community from varying different backgrounds, roles, can become a advocate, and you don't have to be an attorney. You don't have to, have any special training. You don't have to be a psychologist. You don't have to do any of these things. You just can be a lay person, and we have people from varying different backgrounds. And like I said, we teach you everything that you need to know to take on this position. So if you've ever thought about, wanting to advocate for a child, definitely reach out and contact us. You can go to our website. It's hamcogalprogram.com, and the training dates will be listed there, and as well as our contact information for you to contact Robin, who's our office assistant, for you to sign up for our training and become involved as a volunteer.
Absolutely. So, quickly we'll kind of talk about the types of cases when we talk about the child in need of services and when the Department of Child Services gets involved. And I know it will be shocking to many people, but we have a drug problem here in Hamilton County.
We do. It's pretty bad, and you wouldn't expect it, but we see so many cases all the time of parents, that are addicted to drugs. So it's really having an effect on the children here in our county, and we really need people to advocate for those children.
Absolutely. One of the other areas that's near and dear to my heart, as the last year and a half or so, I've been involved we've served 9 girls who have been victims of human trafficking. And again, I know it's shocking. Here in Hamilton County, yes, right here in Hamilton County, these are girls who go to our local schools here, HSE, Fishers High School. We've had a couple intermediate schools. And these are children who have parents that are involved, but social media and the access to these apps and iPads and computers and cell phones and all of that is creating a really huge epidemic that actually they're stating is going to become bigger than the drug crisis here, I think, in the next 2 years. So it's something that's right here in our community, and I think they even did a panel on it at the conference.
They did, yes.
Because it is affecting children. I know we think about it's from people who come from overseas, and it happens in New York City, and if you watch Law and Order, SVU,
right.
That's what you think of, but it's not.
It's right here.
It's not. It's right here, and my big public service announcement for the day is if you have children or know anyone that has children with a cell phone or an iPad, ask them, let me see it. And if they hand it over to you right away, then you're probably okay. But if they hesitate to hand it to you, then you likely have an issue, because if you're not hiding anything, here you go.
Right.
But if they're more, resistant or hesitant to let parents look at their phone, and there's apps that have hidden apps. It's scary. So parents out there, be careful. And even if you think that you are watching your child, or everyone has that. Yeah, Snapchat, for instance, is terrible. Okay, it's not. It's just an avenue where these girls get preyed on, and again, it's preyed on by kids in the high school and older friends. And it's awful, and it's right here. So if that's the one thing, if you get out of this today, is if you have someone with a cell phone with a child, go ask them, because that's how it starts.
And aside from the child trafficking and the drug issues, we also have, people with hoarding or dirty house cases. We have, child abuse where, a parent is physically endangering a child. We have, some neglect cases or abandonment type issues.
We have some children who have mental health issues, and that's becoming more of a common theme here. That children who've been adopted, most of the ones that I see, I don't know if you are.
Yeah, I have a few too.
That are children that have typically been adopted and their history isn't known, and when they get a little older, then they start having issues, and resources for mental health services for children is just terrible, actually. It's quite sad. So we're seeing a number of those here recently.
Another reason why we need advocates to, look out for these kids. If they're not being provided proper resources, or if of any additional resources that could be provided to them, by DCS or the court or, their parents or the foster family, whatever you can do to advocate for that child, to have that child have a better life, that's what we hope that you'll do. So.
And oftentimes it is the guardian ad litem that is the one to suggest things to the court for the specific child on what they could do. Because oftentimes if they're acting out, the child may be seen as a juvenile delinquent. But in essence, they're not a delinquent. It's just the issues of their mental health that they need to be addressed.
Right. So that kind of gives you a little bit of information about our program, what type of cases we handle, when our upcoming training is. We hope that you'll join us and become a volunteer. So contact us. Let us know if you want to join. We'd be happy to have you with our program and to see your lovely faces, not on screen, but actually in training. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.
Absolutely. And again, we thank Jim Wofford and Noblesville Trophies and Logan Street Signs and Banners. And again, check out their Friday outdoor movie series. I'm sure it'll be a great time. So thanks all
for joining us.
And we'll see you again next time.
And say bye to Shelley, too.
Yeah, bye, Shelley.